Hello, hello. Welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Matt.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Today we're coming at you with some wild turkey. We're going to be reviewing their rye whiskey and their rye 101.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
All right. Wild turkey rye. Let's go into the history of wild turkey in general. So, it started in 1855 with Austin Nichols. It is actually, for a long time, was a non-producer distillery. So, basically this means they buy bulk bourbon and they bottle it, more or less is all it means, which is a ton of people do this. But Austin Nichols was, I guess, more or less the founder of the wholesale company that did it. Sold wine inserts back in 1855. Basically, the distillery he worked with was in 1869. The Rippey brothers made their distillery on Wild Turkey Hill in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Let's see, 1940, there were some executives on a hunting trip from Austin Nichols, and he brought this bourbon with him that they all really liked, and since it was a wild turkey hunt, it became the Wild Turkey Bourbon, which is where the name Wild Turkey comes from. Let's see here. The 1954, Jimmy Russell joined them. He's the longest tenured master distiller in America, maybe the world at this point in time. His son also joined him in 81, so the only bourbon distillery that has two master distillers at the same time that are father-son combos, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see. They also had a giant fire in, was it 2000? They lost 17,000 barrels, a 7-story warehouse. It was so intense it put 20% of the whiskey went into the river, killing 228,000 fish, and it went 66 miles the river was on fire. That's insane. So it's not, yeah. The amazing thing is their fine was $256,000 to replace the fish.
To replace the fish.
That's it. So it took the Coast Guard and the EPA to clean this mess up. They finally got their own distillery that they were actually making all of it prior in Indiana and Arkansas, and then it was bottled. That's where it was bottled prior. But finally, in 2013, they got their own bottling plant in Lawrenceburg. So they bottled that and Sky Vodka there randomly.
Sky Vodka. Okay.
It's because they're owned by Campari, so, it works. So, yeah, it's a cool place. So, I guess that's pretty much the history of it. So, let's move into the tasting of the regular rye, which is 81 proof. It is an alligator char, 51% rye, 37 corn, 12 barley.
And it's pretty rye dominant on the nose, even being only 51%. You get that bright pickle
and mint.
Anise, mint.
Yeah, I get vanilla and bacon spice.
Yeah, there's the new oak there as well.
Right.
It's right there, also leading.
Kind of doughy.
Yeah, it's very doughy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very minty, flowery.
Spearmint.
Yeah, spearmint. And it's a basic rye. It's not, an overpowering. Like, it's barely a rye at 51% at that. With a lot of corn dominant in there. So, I think, nose-wise, it's not a killer for if you don't like rye. Let's put it that way.
It's not off-putting either.
Yeah.
No, it's not off-putting. But it's basic. There's
nothing. A doughiness to it, but I wouldn't go so far as to call it a yeastiness or or a young note.
Dough.
Yeah.
Smell is a pretty typical rye.
Yeah, it's not complicated.
Taste is a pretty typical rye as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got those same notes that you get in the nose right there in the glass. The pickle, the dough, the spearmint. Yeah, it tastes a little thin to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially that's 81.
It's 81.
Not really surprised it's thin.
The black pepper doesn't show up for me until
the finish.
Long after the swallow, well into the finish, is where the black pepper ding kind of comes alive.
See, for me, it's just like rye bread and baking spices, your mint, spearmint, wintergreen. It's, uncooked dough. I mean, like I said, this pretty much mirrors the nose. The taste is pretty much the same.
I agree.
There's not a lot.
Yeah, and it's your typical rye. It's not horrible.
No, I like it. It's fine. I mean, I'm probably going to sit around and drink this. Probably not just because it's simple and basic. But for cocktails, this is perfect. Especially for the price. I think it was like $15. So
that's not bad.
You really can't go wrong price-wise. I mean, especially for a rye that's not going to kill you. Tastes good in a cocktail. It's fine. Or if you just want to get into rye, it's a good one to start with. If you just, we're going to start getting into rye, going from a high rye bourbon to an actual rye, it's probably a good one to go to.
Water?
Actually makes the journey a little bit more enjoyable. There's a little bit more going on. It separates oils. It's good. I like it better with the drop.
Yeah.
Which is shocking for an 81.
Yeah.
Right?
Normally it just kind of thins everything out completely.
Yeah. And with
I
something
feel like,
already being thin,
I feel like it's more of a complex bourbon. When you add the drop in there, all the flavors separated a little bit more, and you can actually kind of pick out individual things that's rolling across your palate. The black pepper ding comes in a little bit sooner on the finish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's just switch over to the 101 rye. Same exact mash bill, 51 corn, 30, or for 51 rye, 37 corn, 12 barley. Same alligator char, except for 101 proof. That's the only difference in it.
So far, that's the only difference I smell in the nose. Is you get that, the proof on the nose.
Smells like the same whiskey, except for higher proof.
Pretty much.
I smell less pickle in this. I smell more corn.
Because you're probably getting that high proof too.
Yeah, more uncooked dough with that mint and corn and like porridge, when it's sitting in that fermenting tank.
Mm-hmm.
But your spearmint and wintergreen are obviously there.
Oh, yeah.
But this one for me also has an apple and a cherry on the background. More complex, I think, than the...
Yeah, I enjoy the nose on this one a lot more so far.
But yeah, same thing. It's not a killer rye as far as like the spiciness goes, as far as the rye spice.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
The pickle doesn't come out as much on the taste either on this one. I don't know if it's masked by the proof. Haven't had very many high proof ryes to judge it on.
We can solve that problem.
We're good.
I enjoy the heck out of that.
But yeah, the similar tasting profile, but kind of keyed down on the pickle part, but everything else is amped up. And of course, I like the proof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's rye, mint, spearmint, wintergreen. But this one's way more oily and buttery. Also, but the cinnamon pepper, I think also because of the proof, make it much higher too.
I get the pepper more mid palate.
Pepper's definitely more prevalent on this one.
Than after the finish.
I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing.
It's there.
But your apple and cherry are there still too, yeah.
I get that too, and I get it further back.
Yeah, that's on more of the finish.
Yeah. It's basically hits your tongue with the mint, the spearmint, and then the black pepper, and then into the slight fruity notes.
Yeah. But really what lingers, though, I think, is that black pepper.
It does.
For me.
Yeah. Well, it's still kind of warm down in there.
It will warm you up. It's good for a good warm winter day. Just at 101.
Yeah.
No, so that's very warming.
Yeah. I
In
agree.
a good way.
Completely agree.
I liked the flavor journey better before the drop. Yeah, it was a little bit more spiky, and all the flavors were journeying across the palate individually. When you put the drop in, everything kind of came together. There was a pretty drastic change in putting the drop in, so it's a fun little exploration. Personal preference, I just liked it a little bit better without the drop.
Hey, that works.
Yeah.
I mean, but if the 101 is too much for you, throw a drop in.
Yeah. It will
Mellow it
smooth
out a
everything
little bit.
out and
Yeah.
Mellow it out across your palate.
There you go. Not bad.
No.
I mean,
What's the price point on the 101-ish?
I think it's like $35.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
No.
Yeah, and it's a liter too, so it's not a $7.50 you're buying
Right.
here either, which is nice.
Right.
Because this actually disappeared from the market for a couple of years, and it started showing up again. So since it's a little bit hard to find, but if you do find it, I'd buy the 101. Yeah, it's like $20 more, but you get a liter, and the proof's 20 points higher. So for me, I prefer the 101.
Definitely the
So
101.
something you want to drink.
And from somebody that's not a big rye drinker at all, not a fan, I would definitely reach for the 101.
Yeah, being the 51% mash bill of rye,
Yeah.
this would be, something we could see ourselves drinking,
Oh,
even
yeah.
not being huge rye fans.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. It's good. Well, have a happy Thanksgiving. And drink rye or bourbon that day, wherever whiskey of your choice.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and drop us a comment below. Until next time.
Keep on crusading for better whiskey in your glass.
Cheers.
See, you didn't hate that one. It's all good.